I said this when we started our tournament in Tucson, that to have an opportunity to be playing at this time of year is what every player, coach, fan dream about. This period of March is the most exciting of any in any sport. And it's always fun when you're not a spectator, when you can be in the mix and be a part of it. We have a team, and I'll underline team, that has earned its way here, and we're excited to be a part of the Sweet 16. It's nice that we only have an hour-and-a-half bus ride to get here, and hopefully we will have the type of fan base that will let everybody know that we're an hour-and-a-half away. So I will entertain any questions.
All right. We'll go Jill right here in the front.
Jill Painter, Los Angeles Daily News. Steve, can you talk about after your last game? You were saying in the locker room, I haven't been here in 17 years. The Sweet 16, I've been here in 17 years. Can you just talk about getting back here and what that's meant to you, and if you'd thought maybe that wouldn't be possible again?
I knew it would be possible. We've been in the tournament, but we've not advanced past the first round since, I believe, 1994 was the last time that we did it. So to have the opportunity to be in it, you can't win if you don't get in it. So this is our fourth opportunity at San Diego State. It's only the second time we've been able to go back-to-back. I think that's significant for us. I think that has helped us and will continue to help us. I'm smart enough to know that it's a privilege to do what we do and to have an opportunity to play in the tournament. And then rarely do you continue to move on. I don't care who you are. You have to be a bit lucky, and you have to be good. And I think we're a little bit of both this year. And I've said that all along. I've voiced my appreciation to our team. We've got a wonderful group of young people who have found ways to win more games than anybody in the country except Ohio State and Kansas right now. That's saying a mouthful. So we've all said, let's enjoy it. And after we won that first game, I told them, we're good enough. And then when it came to the second game, and I made the comment after the second game that they had a pin for the second game. Had no idea they had a pin for the second game because it had been so long since I've been a part of it. And it feels good to be here.
We're going to go right here, and then we'll go on the aisle.
Coach Joe McDonald, Fox Sports West. When you first made it to a Final Four, it was under bizarre circumstances, obviously. And, the other couple of times you made it, it was like a steamroller. You guys were, great. Now you're here trying to get to that Final Four game. From your personal standpoint, what has this been like for you, knowing right now that you're just 2 games away?
It's been a wonderful, wonderful journey that we've had. I knew we were going to have a good team. I didn't know how good we would be. I knew that we had a team that I expected and our fans expected to make the tournament. Our previous seeds, the highest seed we'd had was an 11. So now we get a 2 seed. So now you're expected to win. And you expect to win. So what's happened to San Diego State, obviously it hadn't happened before. So we have got the whole community upside down, excited about our team. And it's fun. We sold out every game of the season, 12,414, and it's an atmosphere that's no better at any one of the other 3 schools who are playing here. We've got a great fan base, and they have enjoyed it immensely, and so have I. So have I. Not really. It's obviously the same game, same tournament, but it's altogether different. I would say early on there were no expectations. We created the expectations. Where we were before, there were expectations somewhat because of where we were. Yeah, so I think more than anything else, it was that. Both places I loved immensely. I loved where I was before, but I I can't tell you how much I enjoy being a part of San Diego State right now.
We'll go right here, and then over here.
Steve, Tim Sullivan, San Diego Union Tribune. Wonder if, as long as you and Jim Calhoun have been coaching, how well, I'm in the middle here, how well you have gotten to know him, and how much different you are personality-wise, and how similar you are in terms of your basketball philosophy.
I've known Jim Calhoun since I was an assistant, which is a long time ago. He was a guy that didn't always gravitate to every head coach in the room, so I got to know him a little bit then. And then when I became a head coach, I would sit and we'd talk. I don't know him all that well, but I do know him. I know him well enough to say he's a friend, and I've watched his teams play, and I would think that we have similar feelings about what it takes to win. You have to be able to defend. You have to be able to rebound. You have to do it consistently. I do think that he's different on the court, on the sideline, in a demeanor that you see, and what he presents to another coach in a social environment or off the track of the stress of the season. He's a little more laid back, low key, unassuming, but he's very, very good at what he does and very demanding with what he does. And I got a lot of respect for him as a coach and as a person.
Go right here, then in the middle, then on the far side over there.
Hey, Coach. Jay Paris, North County Times. Coach, you talked about that fan base. How big an advantage can that be, being so close? And where does that advantage show itself? Is it when a team is down and the crowd can get it back up, or more when a team is ahead and it can fuel it to finish the job?
The big thing that's good for us now is we're an hour and a half up the road. We don't have to fly 3 hours and 3 time zones to play a game. And we are going to have a lot of fans here. How much that will help us win games, I don't know. It did at home. At our home games, our crowd, when we got on a run, they kept us on that run. When we struggled a little bit, they allowed us to get back on track a little quicker. A little different environment here in the tournament because there'll be a lot of fans from other towns. But I know we're going to have a good number of San Diego State people here, and they'll make a lot of noise, and hopefully it'll help us a little bit.
In the back, in the middle.
Coach, you alluded to the hour and a half bus ride, but do you like playing in this facility at Honda Center, being back here again?
I'm offered right now in this building, I think. Got the same locker room that St. Mary's beat us twice in, so I'm hoping we can change that. This is a nice facility in terms of, number of people we can put in here and great building, so hopefully we will play well and have a chance to get a win. But as I said, I think I've only played here twice, both times in the Wooden Classic and both times St. Mary's, and both times we came away wishing we could have played a little bit longer.
Go here on the aisle, on the far side.
Hi, Coach. Phil Charters, Journal Inquirer. Steve, can you just give us your impressions of UConn, what you've seen on tape, their strengths and things?
They're big. They're very, very good rebounders. They run as well as any team we will have played, and they have a superstar in Kemba Walker. That's a tough combination to deal with, and you can end it with they're playing as well right now as anybody in the country. The way they went through the Big East tournament and their first 2 games, they're very talented and very well coached.
Go right here.
Coach, you've had some fairly great players over the years, both in Michigan and here as well. Where does Kawhi compare?
Kawhi compares favorably with players that we've had in the past who have had a reputation and then lived up to the reputation. He came in as Mr. Basketball in the state of California, and he, from day one, nobody worked harder. I've made this statement before. He is a gym rat who's constantly trying to get better, which is why from year 1 to year 2, he's significantly better and determined to get even better as he goes along. Got huge hands, pursues the ball like none other player that I've coached, and when he gets his hands on the ball, he'll usually get it. He's a hard guard because he can score on the bounce. He's good with the ball. He's strong to post you up, and he's just good enough to where you're hesitant to back off of him and give him an open shot from the perimeter. He's a very, very good player.
In the blue shirt, and then over here.
Hey, Coach, James Cole with Fox 5. Talking about Kawhi, talk about his attitude, because he's one of these guys that it's so clear he's a fabulous player. He's going to translate very well to the NBA, yet you never hear from the guy. And even in this press conference, he's a very, very understated guy, very different from those Fab Five guys you had way back in the day. Can you compare his attitude, and how is that going to help him make that transition?
He is a man of few words. Yes, no, maybe. He was that way recruiting him. You never knew what he was thinking. He has become much more open now with us. When he gets to know you, he will smile more readily. But he would much rather be in the gym now on the court. And we told him, as we told everybody, enjoy this part of it. This is all part of the process. Enjoy it. Doesn't say a whole lot, but he says a whole lot with his actions on the floor, with how he plays.
Joe, go ahead.
Coach, when you're going up against a dynamic player like Kemba, does that change the way you normally play your defense when you go up against somebody like him? DJ was saying you're going to throw everybody in the kitchen sink at him.
Well, he scores 35%, 40% of their points and takes about that many of their shots. So we better have a plan in terms of what we want to try to do. You can't foul him. He's a deadly free throw shooter, and I believe he's gotten 76 free throws in his last 7 games. You got to keep him off the line. He knows how to draw fouls. He's lightning quick with the ball. So we've got to hopefully keep him on the outside, challenge his perimeter shot, and minimize the number of free throws and layups that he gets. And it's easy to say, hard to do. He's not scoring 26, 28 points a game for nothing.
Over here.
Steve, a follow-up on your observations on Jim Calhoun and his off-the-court demeanor. When he's on the court and fairly animated, do you think that personality intimidates officials? Do you think that there's an advantage to be gained there? And are you conscious in your own relatively mild-mannered way that you have to do something to get that edge back?
I would hope not. I would hope not, especially at this time of the season, this level. I think all of us, when we have regular season games, there are certain guys that you would prefer to have on home games, and others that you don't want to see on somebody else's home court. I don't think that factors in this type of a setting. I think you've got officials who have all had experience doing what they do. I don't spend a lot of time looking down to see what the other coach is doing, and I try to be just demonstrative enough to make sure that when I say something, that they've got ears. I think if you're harping and carping all the time, pretty soon they tune you out, whether it be your players or officials. But I'm not worried about any type of things that another coach might do to help them get an edge on the officiating.